This is a big microphone. I know that you were noticing it before.
I'm not used to big black things in my face.
This is the Cats and Pudding Podcast. A melting pot of pudding. And now, here's Jen.
Good afternoon, everybody, and this is our second episode of Cats and Pudding. And my name is Jennifer DeLandro, and welcome to our show. And I just hit the microphone. Can I do it again?
Right. People like when you make mistakes.
I make a lot of mistakes, though.
But you also fix a lot of mistakes.
I do. By the way, this is Arielle.
That's another mistake. Arielle.
I always say Arielle, too.
A lot of people do that. Don't feel it.
But you never correct me, though.
No, you never said it wrong until that one time.
You know why?
No.
Because
it's Scarcella. And people want to say Arielle Scarcella.
Well, your last name, so her last name is Scarcella, and it sounds like a made-up stage name. I've never heard an Italian name of Scarcella. I've heard of Scarface, but that's not Italian. That's Colombian.
That's Colombian?
That's Colombian.
Drug dealers?
Lord, like cocaine, like that, but not Scarcella. But it's a great name. It's a good name.
I'm glad.
I actually have two Italian last names that a lot of people don't have. I have DeLandro, and my Gucciardo. That's like not.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's Gooch. Like that's what was my nickname. That's why
that one sounds made up.
It kind of does, but the nickname is really good. Gooch.
Sounds very high fashion.
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
For obvious reasons.
Gucci.
Yeah.
If I only had the first four letters, that's like
Gooch.
Right.
Well, you know what a gooch is, right?
Well, Cooch.
No, a gooch.
Yeah, a gooch.
Is like a gooch is like between a guy's butthole.
I thought that was the island.
No. Isn't it called a gooch? Is it called a gooch? Isn't
no,
it?
I don't think so.
I'm not a gay guy.
How do you know where it is on a guy? You're a lesbian.
I've heard.
You never saw one though, like in reality.
No, I've seen one. I've touched one penis my whole life, and it's on video.
And it wasn't yours.
I don't have a penis. It wasn't like my boyfriend's. You mean?
Yeah, right.
No, it was on video, and it has like 7 million views or something like that, or 13 million views. It's on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah, it's called Lesbian touches penis for the first time.
This is a big microphone. I know that you were noticing it before.
I'm not used to big black things in my face. Or big white things. Listen, I'm not racist.
I would like either one in my face.
I'm sure you would.
I really don't. I'm not like, I have no problem with any color of the rainbow in my face as long as it's big enough.
That's a lot.
But that's not true. You know what? Because now when you're married, like you don't do that anymore unless like you want something like do you give a blowjob? Like I know with straight women, with I guess a straight woman,
yeah.
Like you go by levels, and me and my girlfriends had this conversation. Like my girlfriend has the biggest house out of all of us, and I'm convinced it's because she still gives her husband blowjobs. That's why she's got a bigger house and new pavers on her front. And like I didn't get them for a long time, and then I figured, well, that's got to be the reason why she has that, because I know my other friends aren't getting down doing it. So, yeah, that's kind of what happens.
You give and you get.
Totally, and you know
it's fair.
Listen, marriage is paid prostitution sometimes, man. You know you got to do it, but it depends on how much you get out of it, right?
Let's start this out with it. We are starting this podcast out with a hot ass mess. As a hot ass mess, I'm okay with it.
But I want to tell everybody about you because you're awesome.
So are you.
No, you're really awesome.
Brooklyn Italians.
We're so yeah, I know. Man, we don't listen. I'm gonna smash pudding. That's it. So Arielle is a YouTuber. She is an influencer, and she is, apart from the pack, I would say. So you are a lesbian for Trump. You are a Republican, right?
Now I am.
Yes. You're not a rhino. You're a Republican. Would you say?
I'm a moderate.
Or a moderate.
But leaning Republican at the moment, and a classic liberal, which would be like a Kennedy Democrat, I guess.
You know what?
Libertarian.
I think and that's where I would probably put myself. I'm in the middle. Mm-hmm. Not right or left. I think I see
there's issues on both sides. And a lot of people make sense on both sides.
Yes.
But the far left has gone off the deep end
the rails
for a very long time.
Yes, I think they're not only off the rails, they're off the track, they're off the cliff, they're in the ocean, buried on the seafood.
And let me tell you something: the gays are not happy with them. By the way,
I don't blame them.
The gays are not happy. There's a big difference between homosexuals, lesbians, gays, bisexuals, and then the queer activists.
Yes. Well, any activist is bad.
There is a very, very, very deep trench that they are digging.
Yes.
And they're hiding out in there, and we're just gonna step over it, and like we don't like these people anymore. It's just like this is not who we are.
What do you feel like is the biggest growing up? I'm 53. I mean, the gay community has, like, in the last 25 years, have made so many strides. Everything's fine. We have no issues with gay marriage. We have no issues with gays adopting children. I think it's wonderful. I think it's great. I love it. I think that there's but you guys had this and pushed for this, and now it's here, and it feels like it's going backwards and upsetting so many people that everything that you did has been now, like, become this, like, perverse and strange, like, alternate universe. It's just really weird how it's become.
Listen, like, it's very simple. Gay people should be able to do what straight people do.
Absolutely.
Right?
100%.
That's what equality means.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
But is equality, like, a straight people saying that they have 87 genders?
No.
And
I have 87 personalities.
Yeah, it's another story.
Yeah.
That's everybody. That's every woman. But, like, are straight people saying that you have to be a progressive or else you're a Nazi?
Right.
There's some straight people, but usually they're queer, usually they're non-binary, usually they're, like, some kind of woke identity. You know what I mean? This is not the typical heterosexual, heteronormative person, as they would say.
Right.
And they're making us all look horrendous. I visited my friend Fred Sargent, who is an actual gay rights activist, like an actual homosexual guy. I think he's like 73 years old. I went to see him in Vermont last week, and he showed me the real gay rights movement. Like, this was from 1969. He was there. There's a photo. There's a famous photo, Gay Rights Liberation, and the big banner.
And he was there.
He's in that photo.
Wow. I would love to see that. That's amazing.
He's in that photo.
That's
and
amazing.
now he lives in Vermont with his husband, and he's great.
And how does he feel?
He hates everything. He's like
Doesn't he
they
feel
attacked
like
him at his own. They attacked the queers.
Attacked him.
Like actually harassed him and physically harassed him, physically attacked him last year at Burlington, Vermont Pride. There's a video of it and everything. It's insane.
And
an actual gay rights activist is being attacked by these young kids because these young kids are idiots. And they don't know how to how to respect your elders, because not just because they're older, but because they led the way.
Right, they paved
for
the way
you to be a little bitch.
Exactly.
Like the way you're being. You wouldn't have that right now if it wasn't for
people
him.
like him. Gotcha.
You know?
I mean, it's true. I mean, and like I said, I'm not right or left. I don't like to give any of my political views, but I'm for common sense, and I'm for, making sense. And I feel that what's going on now, it's just pushing everything back, and it's causing more problems. And I think that there's issues in the gay community with what's going on right now, like you said.
Huge. I mean, for me, it started around like 2014, 2015 when people started telling me, queer activists started telling me, people are going to say, Arielle, you talk about this all the time, and I do. But it's like, it's my life, right?
Right.
I'm a lesbian. They started telling me that, well, some trans women like women, and some women want to date trans women, and some women have penises. Therefore, if you're a lesbian, you like all women, and you have to date lesbians and trans women with penises. And it's like, no.
No, you don't.
No, that's like, first of all, you're lesbian doesn't mean you're attracted to all kinds of women.
Right. Exactly.
Second of all, lesbian, in my opinion, means you don't like dick. Like, it's like, I don't understand how we got to this point where sexual orientation, in their eyes, have nothing to do with genitals.
Right. It's how they feel. It's how they feel.
But that's nuts. It's like,
it's not
pun intended.
It's not realistic.
It's not reality.
And it's not reality. That's where the
and
problem
it's actual homophobia. You're saying same-sex attraction, you're saying is bigoted, is what these people are saying. You're not allowed to strictly be same-sex attracted.
It's got to be.
They're saying you have to not care what's down there, is what they say, which is is really what pansexuality is.
Well, that's not really being, that is being homophobic.
It is.
That's being homophobic.
Literally homophobia disguised as progressiveness. Yes. New age progressiveness.
And I just think that today what's going on is that, the kids, listen, I have kids, I have patients, and the woke culture is always a struggle for me in my, talking to my children and talking to patients, because I feel that they're confused. I just don't think that I think that they're mistaking their feelings for what feels good for them at the moment, but what it's going to be like for them as they get older, and do they want to start a family, and do they want to have a partner? I mean, basically, it looks like it's just you go with anything, and it's like you want to be with a woman one day, a man the next day. You're gay, you're pan. It's just too much confusion. How can you ever have a stable relationship if you're that confused?
Well, the answer is because they don't have a stable emotional maturity yet. They don't have a stable environment usually, or if they do, it's like they're making themselves unstable because they feel so bad that the fact that they're privileged. These like 14-year-old girls in white suburbia who feel bad about their white privilege, don't want to be white, don't want to be straight, even though they are white and straight.
Right.
Dye their hair and say that they have ADHD and say that they're non-binary, and now they're oppressed, So it's a real thing that's happening, and it's disgusting because it's invalidating the actual struggles of LGBT people, and sadly, like I said, they're attacking actual homosexual activists like Fred and like Blair. My friend Blair White, she's a trans woman. She gets attacked every event that she does.
She wrote a book, right?
Probably at some point she will. I don't think she has yet, but she probably will. But like, she goes in California too, which is funny. It's supposed to be the most progressive place, right?
Right.
and she does an event and she gets stalked.
And is it because of her feelings? It's because
she's not woke.
Right.
And she doesn't believe in kids transitioning. Mm-hmm. She doesn't believe, in people saying that you have to be attracted to certain types of people if you say you're a certain sexual orientation. She said it yesterday in her video. She's like, I like dick. She's like, sorry. She's like, I like dick. She's like, I have a dick, but I like dick. Like,
she knows what she likes.
Yeah, and that's great.
I mean, I look at it this way. I don't think that children are capable of making that decision. I mean, if a kid is telling you he wants to be Batman, right? Yeah. Are you gonna let him go on the roof and fly off because he thinks he's Batman and could fly? So that, to me, for somebody to say, well, they know they're ready to transition, they should start pumping them up with hormones, that I don't feel is right. When you get older, if you're 18 or above, I don't even think 18 is old enough to make the distinction. Because I have 18-year-olds.
Your brain doesn't start.
My daughter's not capable of making many decisions. She's away at college, and I get 152 phone calls a day of just random things.
This?
So now you're going to tell me that this person is capable of making a decision of what they want to do
for the rest of their life.
For the rest of their life. Not even talking about the medical ramifications of it. Cancer. Right. You're messing with natural causes of your body. It's not something that is gonna not come out. It's not gonna work out well in the end if you try to change something that's not supposed to be changed. So I feel, look, when you get older, at a certain age, if you want to do it, if that's something that you did, you should definitely go to therapy. And discuss, because also you probably have inner issues that you have inner problems. And after that, if you feel that you want to go through doing hormone therapy or transition, then fine. But doing it at the snap of a hat because, this kid wants to play with dolls one day and this kid wants to play with trucks. I was a tomboy when I was little. I know you're not supposed to even say that anymore.
No, I was a tomboy. I still am.
I had short hair. My fingernails were dirty. I did not look like this when I was in grade school. I hung out with all the boys.
Well, it's also more fun to be a boy.
Right, and I liked hanging out with the boy. Right, and it was fun. But
it's more freeing.
So it doesn't mean that that's what so now if somebody takes that cue from me as a child, well, you're not really expressing who you are, and you want to really be a boy, and but no, I didn't. I liked hanging out with the boys because they paid attention to me because I played sports and I loved to play sports. That was it. So I was happy to be around them, and I couldn't stand girls because girls annoyed me
annoyed me too,
and they still annoy me,
which was also very confusing for the fact that
that you're attracted to them. So no, you want to sleep with them. You want to sleep with them, but you don't want to be their friends.
I swear, it's true. They're all annoying.
They are. It's true. So that's what I think that is a big what I feel is a struggle at this point in time. How do you feel about what's going on actually in the political world right now? Who do you feel is like the most polarizing political? I mean, we're gonna say who it is.
I don't even know if it's Trump anymore, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think people are coming around. I really do. I have conversations every day with friends of mine. Okay, I go play paddleball in a park by my house. There's a group of I think there's 4 kids and 2 parents, so there's 6 of them, and they all come and play. They're all different ages. They're all gorgeous somehow. All these kids are like models. And I was talking to them one day about something, and they brought up politics for some reason. I can't remember why. And they were like, we regret it. I was like, what? They were like, we regret voting for Biden. And they're Puerto Rican, by the way. Not that Puerto Ricans aren't for Trump, but people on the left assume, oh, you're a person of color, you're going to probably vote Democrat. And it's like, no, people are waking up to the bullshit. They even said it to me. They were like, our lives were better under Trump. They said it. Like that was the exact words that this woman said. My life was better under Trump.
Well, I don't think anybody right now could say that their lives are better under Biden. I mean, you'd have to be a total imbecile, or somebody would have probably hit you over the head with a sledgehammer for somebody to even say that.
Yeah, driving here, there's a woman on the side of the road next to the UN. I had to drive up First Avenue, and it said, kick Russia out of the UN. And I was like, Trump was still in office. We wouldn't have had we wouldn't have had this Russia war. We didn't for 4 years, you know?
How do you feel about that we're giving money over to the Ukraine, and we're giving families who just had their house burned
$700.
$700 and getting kicked out of their homes, basically?
I mean, the people speak for themselves, I think, right? Like, wasn't there a video of them going like, go home, Biden, go fuck yourself, something like that? I mean, like, they were booing him. They were telling him, go home, you're not helping us. It's like, what is this? This is piss money. You know, what am I going to do, wipe my ass with it? $700 is a joke. And what did Ukraine get? 100 billion? What was it? 100 million or
100? I know it's probably
a billion.
Maybe close
I
not
can't
a
remember
billion, but
it was a lot.
It's a lot of money.
I can't remember how much it was.
Went to Americans. It should have went to veterans. It should have went to people that are homeless in the street.
We wouldn't have had to give this to the Ukraine.
No.
If Trump was president, because there wouldn't have been an invasion.
Well,
all this stems from the fact that Trump's not president, in my opinion.
Well, I think it also stems from that there's somebody that's in office that's not capable of running a country. I think that
if it was DeSantis, maybe it'd be different. That's true.
You know, I think that that's the issue. And I think that, like you said, you're a moderate, you're in the middle. I think most people are. And I think just for common sense wise, like you want to, listen, you want to be able to pay your bills. You want to be able to take care of your family, right? I want to be able to pay my mortgage. I want to be able to send my kids to college. And you know what? All this other noise that's going on around, it's like they're trying to I feel like it's all a distraction for what the real problem is. And you need somebody who's going to help get rid of those problems. I don't care if I don't like the person. What do you care if somebody says something on Twitter? I don't have to sleep with the guy. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you.
I don't care.
I also thought his tweets were hilarious.
The same thing with my if I don't like my boss, it doesn't mean as long as he's paying my paycheck, he's taking care of me. I'm doing well in my position. I have no issues. What's the problem? And it could be Trump. It could be anybody. You know. And I just feel like it's just like we need somebody who's going to make sense and help the people.
What is the old saying? Is it better as a leader? Is it better to be loved or feared? Not that people love.
That's
Biden.
From the Bronx Tale.
Is it? Yes. I don't know, but not.
Would you rather be loved
or feared? But
yes.
not that people
Chaz
love Biden.
Biden said that.
But people feared Trump.
Yeah.
Other people, not like our people. People hated Trump here, but like people were scared of him in other countries.
Well, listen.
And I think that was.
Does he come off as an asshole?
He does.
He is an asshole.
But
he's a billionaire. He's an asshole.
Right.
What do you expect? I would be an asshole too if I was a billionaire. You know what I mean?
But he makes sense.
But he
gives a shit.
Yes, he does. There are situations that he makes sense. But the point is that you can't base your vote on because you don't like somebody. And you know they've done a study. Listen, do you think Kennedy would have got voted for if by the women if he wasn't so good looking? It's
possible.
True.
Yeah.
You can't base it on feeling. You have to base it on fact, and that's where the problem is. You have to base it on what's going to happen, what's going to happen to the economy, what's going to happen in your involvement in overseas. I mean, we don't need to be involved in 99% of the stuff that goes on in other countries because until our country is in order, we have no business getting involved anyplace else.
Completely
get your
agree.
stuff in order. Clean your own room first, basically. And when you clean your room, then you can start telling me how to do other things. That's it. Keep your own stuff, keep your own shit in order. And that's where I feel the problem is. You know, and everybody out there who are these activists, I guarantee you half of them, their whole life is in disarray and they're out there telling you what to do.
That's all they do.
That's it.
That's
because
all
they want
do.
to tell you what to do, how to spend your money, where to go, where to live, who to go, who do you like, who's this, who's that. You know what? And you know what's really sad? It's like it doesn't have to be like this. You know, this is a democracy, and this is a country where, you know, we should have a free flow of ideas. And if you say something, one thing that can offend somebody, listen, I own a business, and I had somebody get offended because a patient was sitting in the waiting room, and her son was coming home from Iraq, and when they pulled out of Iraq a couple of years ago, the debauchery that happened, you know, she said something. She was mentioning it in the waiting room. Nobody said anything about any political stance or anything like that. It was just like, you know what, these kids are gonna learn. These kids don't know what they're doing. These kids are very naive. That's all I said. The patient said she was offended. Had a problem with that. What I said, well, why would me saying that offend you? That I'm trying to empathize with a patient whose son is in the military and is coming home from Iraq. Does it mean that you know which way of the aisle that I'm on? No, I'm for common sense.
The like, hypocritical part of it is that
I'm like an independent.
Yeah,
because I vote for.
But even
if
you weren't, like, leftists are always claiming that, oh, everyone's a colorful rainbow. There's so many people of color and different colors and different genders. But then when it comes to politics, it's very left and right and black and white.
Right. It doesn't make any sense.
They have no room
for anything.
Nothing. And it's a very bizarre way to be.
It's like you're all over. Everything is one with this with that, and then all of a sudden it's just one. It's either this or that. You're either this way or that way, and it's not like that. And most people aren't one or the other. They're I think pretty much everybody.
Most people are conglomerate of ideas and morals and feelings.
Right.
Most people and you know I've traveled to 40 states out of 50 so far, which is like. I love that. I can say that because that's like a big deal for me.
Have you slept with a woman in every state you've been in?
Yeah, I wish, but no. No, I mean, there's only attractive people in certain states, to be honest. Like this.
Wait.
You know what I mean when I say that. Like you go to certain states and you're like, everyone looks the same.
You mean like the Midwest?
Kind of, yeah. Like they all.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that. Well,
maybe like upstate. Upstate's
not bad. Upstate's not bad.
Oh, listen, my daughter goes to Cortland. It is.
It's bad over there?
It's like
I was in Albany.
3-block radius. Like it's like you blink.
There's a lot of inbreeding.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a different place than here. So, how do you feel about what is your biggest influencer as far as a political influencer?
My biggest influence.
Like, what made you get into politics? Because, you know, you aren't always this...
I wasn't always this political, no. I think moving down to Florida part-time changed my mind a lot.
Was that during COVID?
I moved there in 2018 from New York, full-time for 2 years, and then I moved back in 2020 right before COVID happened. And I changed my entire outlook on everything. I made new friends down there that were all Republicans, and a lot of them were LGBT.
Right.
But also, it was more the cultural political left than actual. It was more the cultural left than because cultural culture has influence on politics. Politics has influence on culture. Right.
Right.
I noticed the culture shift. Most people do before the political shift, and because they're intertwined, I was like, okay, this culture isn't making sense, and then they're creating laws, and those laws aren't making sense. Let me actually take a step back and look at what I'm saying that I'm supporting, and it turns out I didn't support most of it. You know?
No, did you feel like you were more on the left when you were younger?
I don't think so now that I think... Well, yes, but also because at some point, and a lot of people will say this, and some people will say, no, that's not true, but I really do believe at some point the parties kind of switched.
Yes.
It's a weird thing. Like, back in the day, Democrats were more for the average person, the worker. It's not like that anymore.
No.
I dated a girl, I think I told you that the last time we hung out. I dated a girl that was... for like a month or whatever. We hung out a few times. In the projects, in the Bronx. The worst part of the Bronx, in the projects. I drove her home every time to make sure she got home safe. Her and her mother both voted for Trump last election. In the projects, Dominicans in the projects voted for Trump. And a lot of their friends voted for Trump. They know the last 3 years they said my life got worse. I'm in the projects and I'm not getting anything
that's how you have to
from
look
AOC.
At it. How is your
not
life?
Doing
how
shit.
was your life? How was your life opposed for 6 years ago? How was it? And now was 3 years ago. And now and to now. How is it? I know I could tell you.
Yep.
People don't have money.
Because of all the lockdowns, she got fired from her job. Not fired, but she... and
then they want to try to shut us down again.
Right. The company had no money. They had to fire their employees. She had no money. She was living well in Midtown. She had to move back with her mom in the projects because of all the Democratic policies and all the lockdowns and all the ridiculousness.
Did you ever think of running for office? Maybe.
I don't know if I'm smart enough in that way.
Well, there's not many.
I mean, that's not saying much. I guess
That's not saying.
That's not saying much.
Listen, obviously, you don't have to be smart to win, or even presidency. I mean, but it's not being smart. It's being. I think
maybe
it's
like a city
logical.
council kind of something. Maybe I could do something like that. I don't have enough patience to be like the president. Not that I would win.
I mean,
but.
just run for office and try to make sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the people are aching for somebody to make sense. That's what I think it is. I think that nobody makes sense, and that's the problem. It's like you listen to. I had to stop watching the news because I can't absorb it anymore.
I don't watch.
I feel like my brain's.
I don't watch the news at all. I don't even own a TV. You come to my house. I live in a 300 square foot apartment, and I don't own a TV. I have my computer, my phone, yeah. But like I watch content creators that I know are not being paid to create or spark a certain agenda. You know what I mean?
Now,
I know them personally, and we both know we're searching for sponsorships, but we're not being paid by like political people to say certain things. You know what I mean? We say what we think is right, and then we get paid by a coffee company or something. You know what I mean? Like we're not being paid by what's his name? Soros. You know, like that piece of shit. So yeah, he's a piece of shit, and he's ugly too. But sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
He is.
He's ugly looking.
Let me ask you a question. Does your political stance affect who you date? Do you find that lately that's a problem?
Very much. I think I don't want.
That wasn't a big factor. Like
I
know for me 20 years ago,
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't political. I think as I got older, I got political. In the last, I think a lot of people who are involved now got political over the last 8 years.
Yeah, the last 2 elections.
Yeah, it's been
been
now
chaos.
it's like,
It's been chaos.
So how do you feel? How's the dating scene?
I mean, 9 out of 10 times, if somebody and I match, and then, like, I try to mention it right away. Like, by the way, just letting you know I voted for Trump. Like, I throw it out there immediately. I swear to God.
How they would react?
Yeah, because I'm not wasting my time. If you're going to go crazy and judge me because of who I voted for and who I think makes the most sense for our country, like, I'm not doing it. I don't judge them for voting for Biden. I'll judge them if they still think he's a good president.
Right.
Then I'll judge them.
Right.
But, like, if you voted for him, I voted for Hillary like an idiot in 2016. I didn't know what the hell I was doing back then. But, it's and
it's so funny that's a big part of
because
it now. Especially I don't think when people are younger it's as big of a deal, I think it's when you
when you're
older.
younger you haven't worked for anything yet.
That's true.
When you're older, that's why it's called conservatism.
I think a lot of 30-year-olds are still living home with their parents.
That's true. But you're trying to.
I just got my oldest daughter out last year.
Well, she's in college now.
No, that's the 18-year-old.
Okay. Oh, the older one. Yeah.
The older
gotcha,
one.
Gotcha.
So, I think that's also a factor.
I think
people
so.
are not leaving their house, leaving their home, leaving their parents.
Well, that's also New York City.
Well, you can't afford to live anywhere.
I wonder why. Where's our taxes going? Where are our taxes going?
You live in Brooklyn?
Yeah. Where are our taxes going? Like, where's the money going?
I know. Where do you think it's going?
It's not going to, like, the parks. It's not going to anything every 5 minutes, the Bell Parkway is being fixed, and then another month it gets broken again. So I don't know what the hell
and that's true. I drive
all the
on
money
Bell
is going
Parkway
to.
3 times a week, and there's always traffic.
Nothing
and it's literally
is actually
14
getting fixed.
miles from my house door to door, and it still can take me
an hour,
sometimes more, an hour and a half to get there.
Disgusting.
I'm like, if you could survive the Bell Parkway, and you could survive anything in New York. It's crazy.
And they're trying to up the price of the trains, and because they're upping the price of the trains and not fixing anything, people are jumping the turnstiles, and people are getting away with it because they defunded the police. It's just like it's a snowball of horrendousness.
How do you feel like when you travel to New York now? Do you feel
when I come to the city?
Like I used to love to come to the city. I used to love it. Fall is my favorite time in Manhattan. And now when I come here, I'm like I go to certain parts and other parts I just don't have the same vibe that I used to have here.
I would never come to Midtown. I'll never come to Times Square. I'll never come to Midtown. Like Upper West Side. If I want to go to the museums, all right. But do I want to see a bunch of homeless people laying on the street
and it's so sad.
Drugged up out of their minds?
It's just sad, and these people, they're innocent people. A lot of them, there's some that are not so innocent, but there are, and you feel bad for them because they got promised all these things to come here, and now look at the situation they're in. What do we do now with them? What would you do now with them if you were in office? How would you fix that problem?
I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of like exporting and importing immigrants, like as if they're like trades, right? I don't know, but I know for sure I wouldn't want them taking. Like I was telling this to my friend the other day. She's a black woman, black and Puerto Rican, I believe, and she's very, very much progressive, Democrat, liberal, like leftist, not liberal, leftist, whatever. And she said like that there's no funding in her daughter's schools, and I'm like, well, what do you think? I was like, what about a few years ago? She's like, it was better. I said, well, the Democrats got in power, and now all these immigrants are coming in illegally, getting all of the federal or statewide or citywide even, depending on what we're talking about. They're getting all this funding, and do you think it hurts the rich people? No, because the rich people still have money. It hurts the middle class and the lower class. She's like middle class, lower middle class. Like, you know, I'm middle class. She's maybe lower middle class, maybe. She works at the MTA. She's got a great job. But she's seeing she's seeing the effects of this too. And now she's starting to think differently. And she's one of those people that'll call everyone racist. So even it's affecting her, that's a huge deal.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This is, I think that a lot of people now are starting to realize, and they have to get involved, and they have to vote for somebody that's going to make sense. That's going to make their lives better. So I'm hoping that one day you can run for office and hopefully fix some of these problems.
Maybe I will.
I think you should.
Maybe I'll. Maybe
I think
I'll
you should run. I would vote for you. I would call it. We would call it the pussy
power
party. I think that's what you should.
Triple P?
Triple P party. Arielle.
I'm down with it.
So I'm so glad you came in today, Arielle. It was great talking to you. I had so much fun. And I hope you come back and see me. And I'm going to see you next week anyway. You're going to come to the office and
we're going to hang out.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to Cats and Pudding. This was my good friend, Arielle. Thank you again for coming today. And everybody have a good day.